One of the things that characterizes the Holmes stories is that we know virtually nothing about Sherlock Holmes. And I'm curious if Benedict and Stephen and Mark Gatiss spent any time on the backstory of Sherlock and Mycroft and their antecedents.
No, not really. I mean, it's... no, I don't think that's how you create a character. I don't think that's how you know a character. I don't think you know a character by creating a backstory for them. Never mind not knowing the backstory for Sherlock Holmes, I'm not absolutely sure that I know the backstory for Mark Gatiss. He's one of my best friends. And if you look at each other, do you really know the backstory? So we sometimes speculate because we're interested and we chat about it, what his parents were like, what he did. But you know what? We're not. It's sacred turf. You don't mess that up.
Trying to make it as subtle as possible so that you couldn't really tell that they were there. I tried with all these different accents, but I didn't want it to sort of ping out in the episode so that people went, "Oh, did you hear that accent?" So I tried to just sort of make them as real as possible and not caricatures, and I hope that was achieved.
Somewhere in the vaults of the Bank of Cox & Co. at Charing Cross, there is a travel-worn and battered tin dispatch box with my name, John H. Watson, M.D., late Indian Army, painted upon the lid. It is crammed with papers, nearly all of which are records of cases to illustrate the curious problems which Mr. Sherlock Holmes had at various times to examine. Some, and not the least interesting, were complete failures, and as such will hardly bear narrating, since no final explanation is forthcoming. A problem without a solution may interest the student, but can hardly fail to annoy the casual reader. Apart from these unfathomed cases, there are some which involve the secrets of private families to an extent which would mean consternation in many exalted quarters if it were thought possible that they might find their way into print. I need not say that such a breach of confidence is unthinkable, and that these records will be separated and destroyed, now that my friend has time to turn his energies to the matter. There remain a considerable residue of cases of greater or less interest, which I might have edited before, had I not feared to give the public a surfeit which might react upon the reputation of the man whom above all others I revere. In some I was myself concerned, and can speak as an eyewitness, while in others I was either not present or played so small a part that they could only be told as by a third person. The following narrative is drawn from my own experience.
But now the principal person concerned is beyond the reach of human law, and with due suppression the story may be told in such fashion as to injure no one. It records an absolutely unique experience in the career both of Mr. Sherlock Holmes and of myself. The reader will excuse me if I conceal the date or any other fact by which he might trace the actual occurrence. But you, Watson." He stopped his work and took his old friend by the shoulders. "I've hardly seen you in the light yet. How have the years used you? You look the same blithe boy as ever." "I feel 20 years younger, Holmes. I've seldom felt so happy as when I got your wire asking me to meet you at Harwich with the car. But you, Holmes, you have changed very little, save for that horrible goatee." "These are the sacrifices one makes for one's country, Watson," said Holmes, pulling at his little tuft. "To-morrow it will be but a dreadful memory. With my hair cut and a few other superficial changes, I shall no doubt reappear at Claridge's to-morrow as I was before this American stunt. I beg your pardon, Watson. My well of English seems to be permanently defiled. Before this American job came my way." "But you've retired, Holmes. We heard of you as living the life of a hermit among your bees and your books in a small farm upon the South Downs." "Exactly, Watson. Here is the fruit of my leisured ease, the magnum opus of my latter years." He picked up the volume from the table and read out the whole title: "Practical Handbook of Bee Culture, with some observations upon the segregation of the queen. Alone I did it. Behold the fruit of pensive nights and laborious days, when I watched the little working gangs as once I watched the criminal world of London." "But how did you get to work again?" "Ah, I have often marvelled at it myself."
Surprise. You didn't think I'd just disappear, did you?